Before Alphonse Gabriel Capone became one of America's most notorious gangsters, he was a boy born into a struggling immigrant family in Brooklyn, New York. Born on January 17, 1899, to Gabriele Capone, a barber from Naples, Italy, and Teresa Raiola, Al was the fourth of 9 children. Life in Williamsburg, Brooklyn was harsh and crowded. The Capone family lived in a cramped apartment surrounded by the noise, poverty, and ethnic tensions of an immigrant neighborhood. Despite their hardships, the family was close-knit, deeply rooted in Italian traditions. From an early age, Al was known for his fiery temper and physical toughness, traits that would later define his reputation. Though not academically inclined, he had a sharp mind and a natural charisma that drew people to him. But formal education wasn't his path. He dropped out of school by the 8th grade. At around 12 years old, a pivotal event left a permanent mark on young Al. During a street fight with a bully, he was slashed across the left cheek with a knife, leaving a deep scar. This wound, which earned him the nickname Scarface, was something he reportedly hated. He tried to hide it with makeup and grew a mustache to cover it. Despite this early violence, Capone was learning crucial survival skills on the streets. He gravitated toward the local gangs, especially the 5 Points Gang, a powerful criminal group in New York City. These gangs were brutal and territorial, but they offered camaraderie and power to boys like Al. Under the mentorship of Frankie Yale, a prominent Brooklyn mobster, Capone began working in various illegal operations, including extortion and bootlegging. Yale was instrumental in molding Capone's early criminal career, teaching him the business side of crime and the importance of loyalty and fear. But the crowded and dangerous streets of Brooklyn soon felt limiting. Hearing about opportunities in the booming city of Chicago, Capone moved west as a teenager, ready to expand his ambitions. In Chicago, Capone met Johnny Torrio, a seasoned gangster who controlled much of the city's organized crime. Torrio quickly saw Capone's potential and took him under his wing. Under Torrio's tutelage, Capone learned how to manage complex criminal enterprises, moving beyond street-level thuggery to organized, profitable operations. When Prohibition was enacted in 1920, banning alcohol nationwide, the city became a goldmine for criminals. Torrio and Capone capitalized on this by controlling the illegal production and distribution of liquor, gambling dens, and brothels. So, what made Al Capone so famous? Why did this Brooklyn kid rise to become the most notorious gangster in America? The answer lies in a deadly combination of ambition, timing, and ruthless strategy. Capone's rise coincided with one of the most chaotic periods in American history, Prohibition.
When the government banned alcohol in 1920, it didn't stop people from drinking. It just created a massive underground market. Capone seized this opportunity and built a criminal empire by controlling the production, smuggling, and distribution of illegal liquor across Chicago and beyond. But it wasn't just his business acumen that made him big. Capone was both feared and admired. He ruled with violence when necessary, eliminating rivals with brutal precision. But he also cultivated a public image as a generous, almost Robin Hood-like figure. His flashy lifestyle, charity work during the Great Depression, and bold defiance of law enforcement captured the public imagination. In many ways, Capone was the first gangster to become a celebrity. His name splashed across newspapers nationwide. His ability to combine crime with charisma made him a symbol of both fear and fascination, forever etched in American history. One of the darkest chapters in Capone's career was the infamous St. Valentine's Day massacre on February 14, 1929. Chicago was torn apart by gang wars, particularly between Capone's South Side Gang and Bugs Moran's North Side Gang. To eliminate his rival Moran, Capone allegedly orchestrated a brutal ambush. 7 of Moran's men were lined up and executed in a garage by assailants disguised as police officers. The massacre shocked the nation and sent a clear message. Capone was willing to use any means to maintain control. Though he was never officially charged, the event cemented Capone's fearsome reputation and escalated law enforcement's efforts to bring him down. Despite his violent and illegal activities, Capone carefully cultivated a public image as a generous benefactor. He donated food to the poor during the Great Depression, hosted extravagant parties, and gave to charities, actions that won him some public sympathy. However, the law finally caught up with him in 1931, not for murder or racketeering, but for tax evasion. The federal government used financial investigations to build a case that would put Capone behind bars for 11 years. He was sent to the infamous Alcatraz prison, where his health deteriorated due to neurosyphilis. Capone spent his final years quietly, dying in 1947 at age 48. Al Capone's story is a complex tale of ambition, violence, and survival. From a scarred street kid in Brooklyn to the most powerful gangster in Chicago, his life reflects the darker side of the American dream, where power and crime collide in a dangerous dance. His legacy lives on, a symbol of organized crime's rise in the 20th century, and a cautionary tale about the cost of unchecked ambition.